all EastEnders spoilers revealed as Phil is hit with major death shock. Struggling with the symptoms of his worsening dementia, he divulges his shocked decision that he wants to end his own life, something that rocks Phil Mitchell to the core. As he is left reeling, advice is given that prompts him to hit upon an idea. But what will it change? Elsewhere, Nicola is in a panic as the murder of Shireen closes in around her. She demands a job of who she hopes will be an ally, but will it be enough to cover the crime? Monday, April 21st. It's Easter on the square, and the residents of Walford are abuzz for the forthcoming egg hunt. Nigel feels suffocated by Phil's overprotectiveness, but after a request from Yolande to suit up as the Easter Bunny, Nigel spies an opportunity to prove himself to Phil. All is going well until Nigel and Harvey argue after he confuses hope for Claire. After the altercation, Jean, Harvey and Ian question Phil on Nigel's well-being, and he finally reveals all about his dementia diagnosis. Later at number 55, Phil accidentally makes a worrying discovery. Nigel intends to end his own life if his memory continues to deteriorate. Teddy attempts to take a clandestine call from Junior about their project, but when Nicola overhears the conversation, Teddy is forced to reveal all. Despite Nicola's pleas, Teddy refuses to pull out of the business deal, and later recruits Ross to join the build. When Nicola arrives to offer Teddy support, she is shocked to hear the location of the site. It's the same place where Shireen's body is buried. At number 45, Priya encourages Avani to spend time with her friends, but it is clear they are avoiding her when Avani's texts go unanswered. At McClunkey's, Priya persuades Avani to have lunch with Barney, where the pair later make amends. Elsewhere, Zach is deflated when Barney refuses his offer to help with Tommy and Joel, and things soon go from bad to worse. Teddy gives the Knights an update on the Vic rebuild, but it's clear Kojo isn't thrilled at the prospect of moving home. Tuesday, April 22nd. At number 55, Nigel attempts to explain his reasoning to Phil, but Phil refuses to listen and leaves. Jean arrives to speak to Nigel, and the pair have a heart-to-heart about his dementia, but Nigel keeps quiet about Phil's discovery. Phil heads to number 25 to seek solace with Linda, who encourages him to support Nigel through his diagnosis. Buoyed by their chat, Phil heads back to number 55 to make amends with Nigel, but his concerns are raised when he returns to find his goodbye letter. At number 1, Nicola panics as Teddy informs her that construction will begin at the site this week. Nicola summons Benji to Harry's barn. Out of options, Nicola tells Ravi she has a job for him. At number 25, Kojo expresses his wishes to live alone, but George isn't convinced, despite persuasion from Gina. Determined to prove himself, Kojo lands himself a trial shift at the Archers with Harry. Wednesday, April 23rd. Phil searches for Nigel, but his fears are raised when Yolande and Jean confirm they haven't seen him. Linda joins Phil in his search. Linda attempts to reason with Phil as he and Nigel finally make amends, before Nigel reluctantly agrees to return home. Back at number 55, Nigel breaks down as he insists he wants to end his life before the dementia takes hold. Phil attempts to dissuade Nigel, but to no avail. Later in the cafe, Yolande gives Phil food for thought, and he comes up with a plan. Thursday, April 24th. At number 1, Teddy, Harry and Barney pull out all the stops for Nicola's birthday, but it's clear she's distracted. Nicola summons Ravi to Walford East and offers him 10k kayad for a job. At the Archers, Nicola lies to Harry and manages to secure a customer's van for the job. Nigel is overwhelmed by Phil's overzealous, caring approach, and Phil later tells Kathy that Nigel is no longer capable of working at the cafe. Elsewhere, Kojo excitedly prepares for his first day at the Archers and later secures a permanent job alongside an invite to Nicola's birthday party. Barney frets as Avani accepts his invite to the party.
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.